Welcome back to the Subtray channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about if there is one most important factor in setting yourself up to have a healthy set of locks. Let's get to it. Loading a tray, you complete. So I got a question from one of you guys the other day, and I was like, this is a great question, and this serves as a wonderful segue into a very important topic that I think all lockers should have a discussion about. But before we get into that topic, let me say welcome if you are new to the channel. And if you are enjoying the content and continue to enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing. All right, let's get to the question. Question came from Aziza Miller, and it reads, would you say that nutrition and drinking water plays a significant part in the health and condition of your locks? And of course, I could have just given the typical, yes, definitely, right? Basically regurgitating what we hear so many others say, but I'm like, no, I'm going to give a real response because I don't think it's just that simple. And you'll see what I mean when you hear my response. So I reply with, sure, water and nutrition play a part in the health of your hair, but how do you isolate and measure the significance of one or two factors? I think it's multifactorial and therefore necessary to do everything possible to achieve the desired goal of healthy hair. For example, if you're consuming the appropriate things for healthy hair, but you're also loading those locks up with products to the point where there's tons of buildup, then how healthy is your hair really? In my opinion, you need a comprehensive approach, and this can be accomplished by utilizing various tools. In the end, let that combination approach be the significant part that is responsible for the health and condition of your locks. All right, so do you see now what I mean when I say it's more varied and it's not as simplistic as just saying yes, water and nutrition are the most important things, or by saying that water and nutrition played a significant role. Yes, I do think they do play a significant part, but so do many other things. Let me give you some examples. If you have a set of locks and you're eating the right things and you're drinking tons of water, then yes, I think that sets your locks up to be very healthy, right? Because water is needed for various functions within the body. It's kind of like you're setting yourself up for the best chance possible, but there's still many other places where you can ruin and sabotage all of that hard work that you already did by your nutrition and by drinking water. So I gave the example in my reply. Yeah, you're doing those right things in terms of the things that you consume, but what if you're using a whole bunch of waxes or gels or products and you're getting buildup? Your locks aren't really all that healthy. Yeah, they may be moisturized from the inside out, but when you look at the actual structure, like after the hairs have grown, after those hairs have been created, then how healthy is that hair anymore? It's weighed down by product, and eventually that's going to have a negative effect on your hair. So I think it's more than just what you eat and also what you drink. Another example, if we liken our hair to a plant, since a lot of people like to give the plant analogy, say we're watering the plant as we should and it's getting the sunlight. That kind of is like drinking water and getting the nutrition that we need, the vitamins that we need. Yeah, the hair is doing well, but what if we start, instead of misting that plant with water, we start misting it with bleach? This can be likened to lightening or bleaching your hair. What type of effect do you think that will have on the leaves and stems of the plant? Not a good one, because it's meant to break down material. So once again, you may be watering the plant well and it may be getting the requisite sunlight, but because of something else that you're doing, you're compromising the health of your plant. By the same token, by bleaching your hair, you're compromising the health of your hair, even though you're doing these other things correct. Going back to the plant analogy yet again, imagine that, hey, you're watering the plant like you should. You're not overwatering it, but you're watering it. It's getting its sunlight, but all of a sudden you start twisting the leaves or, wrapping the stems around each other, basically messing with them. You're telling the plant what you want it to do in terms of how it looks versus just leaving it alone and letting it grow. We take that back to our hair, that can be likened to getting a whole bunch of styles and contorting our locks to do what we want them to do for the purposes of it looking a certain way. Well, whenever you touch your locks and you're twisting them and you get those tight styles, tight means that you're essentially stretching out that hair. And eventually, over time, after constantly stretching and stretching in certain places, you're weakening those strands to the point where they will actually break off one day. They're gonna break, the hairs are gonna snap. So yeah, you were watering the plant well, yes, it was getting its sunlight, but at the same time, you're doing this other thing that's once again sabotaging all of your great efforts before. Hitting up that plant analogy one more time, because it is such a great analogy and it is so ubiquitous, everybody uses it, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to speak your language. You have to consider what type of plant it is, right? What type of plant it is. Some plants require a lot of sunlight, other plants require more shade. By the same token, when it comes to your hair, people have different hair types, right? You can't do the same things to every hair type. For instance, I have fine hair. I know that my hair could not take a lot of messing with, if you will. It's not as robust as maybe someone who has thicker hair or coarser hair. For example, if the hairs that came out of my beard made up the hair that comes out of my scalp, then yeah, maybe I would experiment a little bit more. But the head hair is much finer than this beard hair. And so it's like, okay, I know that I can't be doing all of that. So you really also have to take into account your hair texture. And I know a lot of us, obviously, probably the majority of us, maybe all of us, have a mixture of hair textures. So I guess what I mean is, which hair texture do you have the most of? What's the majority hair type that you have? And let that determine what you can and can't do to your hair. Because if you try to give a plant that requires little sunlight, a lot of sunlight, you're gonna burn the plant up. Regardless of how much you water it, those leaves will burn. And then of course, conversely, if you are treating your locks right, if you are doing everything that you need to do to them externally, but you're not taking in the right nutrition and you're not drinking water, then yeah, you're damaging your locks from the inside out. And so once again, they won't be healthy. So all in all, you need a comprehensive approach. It's not just one thing or another. In my opinion, it's in combination. It's doing multiple things that ultimately leads to a healthy set of locks. That's Lisa Miller. I hope I've answered your question. And for anyone else watching, I hope that you understand that it's not just one approach, or it is, as long as that approach is comprehensive. It's doing many things in tandem all together to afford you a healthy set of locks. If you choose to love, do so unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. Saboteur is out.